Let me put on my hat. Because why not? I mean, I'm thinking, all right, so we're not okay, now we're on YouTube. We're going to YouTube, X, and Rumble. However, the only one of those that I really care about anymore is Rumble. If you're not subbed on, get over to Rumble and sub just in case, because, things do go haywire a little bit. But last stream I did, X just cancelled my thing. Anyway, boink. So I've been trading. War's not all bad. Like, it's bad, but it's not all bad. There are upsides. Like, you can make a lot of money. But that suits you. Thank you very much. I feel it suits me too. The point is, it seems the mode du jour of the day is to be a PDF file and get into graping. Those are the keys to success in this day and age. I'm not sure where we go to learn to be PDF files. I guess there's probably a course we can do at university. Maybe there's a TAFE course. I don't know. I'm just going to ramble for a while. I've got a ton of videos to get through, but as I say, I haven't done any preparation. But I have been drinking. And that's all the preparation you need. What is the point in this day and age? Jessica Lauren, 25. How are you, mate? It seems the key to success is graping. Every great president of the United States, they're all into it. And why wouldn't you be? You know who else did it? What was his name? The guy, the Mongolian guy? Rob the Mongolian. He did so much graping that he changed the bloodline forever. So, But, like, what is the point? I go to YouTube. I stream to YouTube. They give me a strike. I stream to X. They delete my stream immediately. Screw you, Elon. You fucking... I'm freedom of speech guy. Anyway, it's not all bad. It's just mostly bad. I've been streaming. I've been trading. And, I have like 5 minutes of being rich and then I'm broke. So, anyway. I will do my prep now. Well, also, let's take a look at this. Oil is currently at 83.89. It's dropped a little bit in the last hour or so, but it's still up there. I'm just doing a little bit of trading and getting back into the game. We don't need to see that. Screw that. That's nonsense. Let's go to X. And I'll tell you what, I won't... Why am I all the way down there? Let's put me up there. I also need a drink, so... Well, I've got a drink, but I'm going to get another drink. What an interesting time it's been. When was the last time we all got to say, hey, the war? The war. That doesn't happen all that often. But now, we get to be like, the war. and you get to trade oil futures. I've just about doubled my money so far, so that's good. Anyway, let's do the show prep, and I'll stream while doing the show prep. Oh, look, it's live. Wow, it's showing it on X. But it will delete it immediately. It annoys me. It just annoys me that I pay for a service that they don't honor. Oh, check this out. A Vietnamese student, pervert, who secretly filmed 150 women in toilets and showers in Melbourne, has been spared a conviction. And why shouldn't he? I mean, what, a man can't have a hobby? For a third time. This guy just keeps getting away with it. He's got rich parents. This dude has got to have rich parents. Morandi to Piers More. All right, let's have a listen to this. Like, each day I wake up and everyone's like, it's World War III. It doesn't feel like World War III. It just feels like another bit of stupidity. Like, can Trump get back to doing good stuff like sending Israel billions of dollars? You know, we all loved that.
The leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, he was martyred because he stayed at home. And he said, I'm not leaving my office and my home because many Iranians have nowhere to go, and so I cannot leave. And he chose to stay even though everyone knew that he would be a primary target. Unlike your leaders and the Epstein class in your country, which do all sorts of things to ordinary people.
I gotta say, Khamenei showed him how it's done, didn't he? He was like, no, you stay and you get murdered. Whether that's the right thing to do, but that's, you know, you gotta go out like the Austrian painter. That's how you do it. Anyway. From what I'm hearing from this Iran thing, it's kind of amazing. There's all this stuff. The only people we're seeing celebrating are women dressed as prostitutes. Like, if they were out there they do the little Trump dance and whatever. If they then held up a thing at the end going, subscribe to my OnlyFans, that wouldn't surprise me. None of them are in Iran. Most of them are Israelis. Because, you know, Israelis have that ability to blend and pretend they're someone else that they're not. Which is a great skill to have. I mean, I'd love that skill. I would love to be able to go out and be like, yeah, I'm a black guy. Or, you know, I am an Indian, sir. The damage you could do to any society if you could just blend in and go, yeah, I'm one of you, and I think we should do this. That'd be great. Anyway, the point is, apparently the Iran, what I'm hearing anyway, the Iranian people are just getting behind the Iranian regime. So it's not like everything. Once you realize that our media lies to us, you can't take them seriously anymore. The problem with that is, if they're not lying, you just assume they're lying anyway. It's like with, you know, that tribe. Like everything they say, you just go, well, you're lying. So the you know, the trick for them is just say the opposite of what they want you to believe, because you'll always think they're lying. It's a great trick. And I'm a big fan of trickery. I discussed this with a friend recently. I'm a big fan of trickery. I love trickery. Like, whenever they get me on a trick, whenever they get me on something, I'm always like, well done. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick episode. Maybe I'll just scroll through. There's some great videos. It's only stuff off X, so it's kind of stuff to eat your brain, but yeah, what does it matter? Um, yeah, what was I just saying? I don't even remember. Doesn't matter.
He stood with his people and he stayed with his people. And that's why he's so popular. And unlike the propaganda that we see on your show all the time with these insane pundits who've never been to Iran, who know nothing about Iran, who just repeat these Epstein class talking points. The Iranian people are steadfast and standing beside and behind the Islamic Republic. And as we speak, across Tehran, under missile fire, you see huge crowds of people in different parts of the city protesting against the United States and calling for the armed forces to resist. And might does not make right. As I learned from school, children know this. We are in the right. No matter how you try to frame it and pretend that we killed in Iran tens of thousands of people on the streets and all that fake media propaganda.
Yeah, it was fake. I gotta say, I don't, trick or trick. Yeah, that's all they know. That is literally all they know. Trick or trick. Um, I gotta say, World War Three, it's a bit of a letdown. I mean, I was expecting more. I was expecting. I suppose you got to be there. It's one of those things you had to be there. But I don't know, man. I keep thinking. Remember in World War Two, the Americans kept saying, "If God be with us, who can be against us?" Because they were like God's on our side, and maybe at the time he was, because the Austrian painter was into all sorts of other weird stuff. But whose side's God gonna be on now? He's got to be up there going, do I choose the religious theocracy that is into morality and modesty and obedience and praying 5 times a day? Or do I go with the satanic pedophiles and cannibals? I mean, they do make good movies. It's got to be a confusing time. I do like Netflix.
The reality is the reason why Iran is hated is because we're against ethnic cleansing. We're against ethno-supremacism. Why don't you show the crowds that are 100 times larger in small cities than these crowds? Because you cannot do that. Because in order to remain on air, you have to pursue certain narratives. My country is under airstrikes from your criminal regime, your Epstein regime. My country, the people in my city are being slaughtered by your garbage regime. And you don't know anything about Iran, and you just talk and talk and talk, and you're afraid of me saying a single sentence.
So I wanted to get an episode out because I'm up to 108, and I'd like to invite E. Michael Jones back for another conversation. A friend reached out to me and said, "Are you going to invite E. Michael back to discuss the Epstein files?" And I was just like, I don't think there's a lot of. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze in that conversation on its own. But Mike and I have discovered Iran. Discovered. We've discussed Iran before because he's been to Iran and he loves the Iranian people, and so I'd love to get his take on it. But I kind of want that to be episode 109, if you know what I mean.
Iran is being bombed by your regime. Our children are being slaughtered. As we speak, your regime is bombing my country.
I don't know how America is like. There are actually Americans coming out and going, this is a just war and all this stuff after they blew up a school and hospitals. Like, they're doing what Israel does. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
And your regime sent in intelligence, the Israeli Mossad, the CIA, according to the former head of the CIA.
Those schoolgirls were going to become terrorists.
According to the Mossad itself, they sent in people to infiltrate. According to Channel 14 of Israeli TV, which is close to Netanyahu, they brought in weapons that killed hundreds of police officers and volunteers on the streets. So the 3,117 people who were killed, and all of them have their ID and information. They're well known. If you have any extra names, give them to me and let's see what your evidence is. All of those people are recognized. And wait a moment. Wait a moment. And if there was one police officer killed in your country, what would the reaction be? Some young woman was turning to the right. They shot her in the face. Here they killed 200 police officers and well over 100 volunteers on the streets. And you call that peaceful protest?
No, I'm with you, bro. I do like the Abrahamic religions. I think there's a lot of wisdom there. And when you go back all the way back into it, it goes back to the sun and Saturn. And it goes back to, but yeah, no, you're right. I think most people now are done with religion. I think religion it's just on its way out for a lot of people. There are still a lot of people, of course, are very religious. Iran is a religious theocracy. I remember discussing it with Mike a little while ago, and I'm not a debater. I don't like to debate. When I get a guest on, I just want to talk to people. I want to hear their opinions. I'm not interested in inflicting my opinions on people, but I will introduce an opinion I have to, provoke a response and find out what they believe. Mike still believes that the world is run religiously, whereas I've moved to believing that the world is run economically. And I think that's the fight we're in to some degree. I think to some degree there are still areas of the world which are run religiously, but for the rest of the world it's purely economic. I've been doing some deep dives into Satanism, which is a fascinating subject. It's very interesting, because most Satanists don't believe in Satan. Most Satanists are essentially atheists. It's just the doctrine they believe in. It's the doctrine of the self. It's the difference between Christ and Dracula. Christ shed his blood so that the world may be saved, whereas Dracula sheds your blood so that he may be saved. And that's the essential part of what Satanism is. I put out a TikTok a while ago, and probably the TikTok that got the most responses, the most comments, and all I just basically said that atheism is satanic. But I didn't define my terms. I didn't explain my understanding of what Satanism is. And so people came on and they were like, I remember the one comment I remember was, you've been watching too much Jordan Peterson. and I responded, I don't watch Jordan Peterson. But it was just and this is what I hate about short form. This is why I like streaming, because I get to talk and explain things a lot more. But I still miss things. I still miss out on a lot of stuff. I still, don't provide complete context. Oh, bro, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I love you guys so much, and I'm happy doing these shows. I don't do them that regular, but I love I just love having a small group to talk to and sharing my ideas, and we bounce off each other. No, I really appreciate you, man. I'm hoping to get more guests on soon. I'm hoping, like, my business, I'm probably going to shut down my business in a couple of months. So I might be able to do this. I might be able to swing it so I can do this a lot more, because, like, this is probably one of my favorite things to do. Like, I've found with the business, you know, it is so true what they say. If you start doing something just for money, you'll hate it. And I hate the business. I really do. I make a little bit of money out of it, but it just sucks doing it. So I'm probably going to shut it down in a couple of months. And hopefully I'll do this more, you know. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I think a lot of I'm seeing so many people who are followers of Christ, but they are not Christians. Even Marmari, that guy, I can't remember. Yeah, that's atheism is. It is absolutely. It's all about the self. And that's what Satanism basically is. It's about, like, no, I'm God. It doesn't put anything outside of you. The beauty of believing in something outside of you is it makes you are like, it gives you a better perspective in life. And I grew up in a satanic family, and the hell that I went through, I'm not going to get into the shit that I went through, but I've told people about this, and they're like, how are you? How did you go through that? But it cost me 30 years of my life. Like, the levels of just abuse and ridiculousness that I went through in that shit. Because Satanism always descends into, like, this animalistic, nothing matters kind of, I can do it. Like, you don't really know what pieces of shit people can be until you've been through that and you've experienced these Satanist fucks. And that's why nothing in the Epstein files surprises me. None of it surprises me. You watch The Counselor. That's a great movie that gets into, you know, the kind of depravity that people can get into. And that's how they catch people as well. It's how they catch all these actors, because they get them young. Because youth is worshipped in this culture. Like, no matter... Hey, Sandy. How you doing? Yeah, it's a good hat. This is actually Sandy's hat. But it's my hat now. Ha 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 ha. This hat was promised to me 3,000 years ago. So it's my hat now. No, it's still your hat. I'm just kidding. But I do love the hat. It's grouse. But yeah, no, they get actors. They get them young. And then they just give them more and more stuff. And then they're like, and then eventually they cross a line and they do something because nothing satisfies them anymore. The guy that fascinates me the most at the moment, because I'm an actor, I'm not, you know, a working actor, but acting is one of the things I love doing. But Shia LaBeouf, he's someone who obviously went into that. They started giving him all the stuff and he just rejected it. And now he's out there saying things like, go be gay over there, which is a brilliant statement. That's one of the best things I've ever heard. That's what you say to him. Go be gay over there. Don't be gay on my lap, on my leg. It's so good. Oh, wow. You're from Eastern Europe. Oh, that's cool, man. And Orthodox. Yeah, look, the thing about Christianity that I think, like, the main thing, and I struggle with this all the time, but the main thing about Christianity is it's good for a society. Like that, and that's the main thing about it, is it is good for a society, for people to go out there and think, you know what, I should help my fellow man. I shouldn't steal. I shouldn't grape. I shouldn't murder. I should go out there and be a decent person, and, you know, so it's very good for a society. I don't know how tenable it is anymore. I hope it will keep going, because Islam is just coming in like crazy. Islam's like, actually, that's what I gotta show you a conversation I had on Facebook, which it kind of fascinates me. But anyway, we'll finish this because we're on Iran. Oh, I'm all over the place as usual. But anyway, I love you guys, and I just wanted to come on and ramble for a while.
But you ignore the millions of people on the streets as we speak in Tehran right now. Just one final sentence. For 47 years, you have been, your government, your regime, your media has been saying Iran is unpopular. Iran is about to fall. The regime is collapsing. And it never happened. And do you know what? That is exactly the same thing that your media and your governments would say about Mossadegh. When he was in power, they were saying he's evil, he's criminal, he's corrupt. Go and look at the New York Times, the Washington Post. It's always the same.
They have been saying it for years. You know what I find fascinating about, like, oh man, I saw a great video on the Iron Dome being fake. Now, I don't know whether it actually is fake or what, but it made a great point. But all of this stuff, Netanyahu has been saying for years that, like, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Like, so many things, it's like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, you know? And Netanyahu has been saying for years that Iran is weeks away from developing a new nuclear weapon. The thing is, that is an absolutely true statement, because they have nuclear power. So yes, they are. If they decided to develop nuclear weapons, they would be weeks away from enriching the uranium, you know, but they would have to then find a delivery system, which they don't have. So everything he said is true, but the way he says it, Iran is weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon. Only we can have nukes. You can't have nukes. That's like me going to a friend's house and seeing that they've got, you know, flour and sugar and milk and eggs, and going, oh my God, you're hours away from having a cake. Like, unless they set out to make the cake, they're not going to be anywhere near having the cake. Crazy. Islam is also Abrahamic. Yeah, absolutely. It's all Abrahamic. This is what I think about this all the time. Like, from a comment, like, what is the Abrahamic God up to? Interestingly, the Abrahamic God, the Abrahamic religions. Now, I've heard this. I'm not going to claim this is true, but this is something that I have heard. Orange juice. Yeah, look, Muslims, they say it's the broom that they will use to sweep away Christianity. It's all the same thing. But what I recently looked into is that actually the Abrahamic religions come from India, and it's Brahma. Because if you take Brahma and you add an A, Abraham. But it all goes back to the sun and Jupiter and Mars and the planets, and it's how these things affect us. But they dumb it down for us and they hand it to us. But regardless, I still like Christ. I still like Jesus. I love his message. I think he was on the good stuff, you know. He had some great albums. That Sermon on the Mount was grouse. I loved that. The water into wine, that was cool. You know, dude was, you know what I like about Jesus more than Abraham? Like Abraham, when you look into his life, he was like, yeah, he went and he had a lot of gay sex in the desert, then he married a 6-year-old, and he killed a lot of people, and then, you know, then he was stupid enough to accept a meal from a woman whose family he'd just murdered, and you know, then he died in the way that his own book had prophesied would kill a false prophet. You know, a little weird. The worst thing Jesus did was kill a tree, because I don't know, I guess he was having a bad day. Just was anti-tree that day. a bit weird. But yeah, I don't know, with all that stuff, I'm kind of all over the place with that stuff. But also, the Abrahamic, that, like, even though they say they are monotheistic, they're not really monotheistic. Yeah, yeah. The story is way older. It's much like all of this stuff, all of these religions, they come from somewhere else. This goes back to the Epic of Gilgamesh, and like all of these things. They take it and they distill it for their own purposes. So it's, yeah, we're on the same page, bro. But I think if you just take the message, you can find, you know, you can find a lot of wisdom in there. You can find a lot of good stuff. But you don't have to accept the religious dogma of it all. When I'm up in the country, I sometimes go to a Catholic church, just because there's nothing to do in the country. So I go to church because I'm like, oh, let's check out what they're up to. So I went to a Catholic boarding school when I was a kid, so I go there, check it out. It is so mind-numbing, mind control. It's all the mind control. So it's like, let's just hammer them with this boring monotone. They learn the voice, everything about it. It's just like, come on, man. Can we get away from this? Can we just evolve? But no, they don't want us to evolve. They want it, like, because we're dangerous if we evolve. We're dangerous to them and their control. You know, the Vatican have been involved in all that Epstein stuff that's been going on. The Vatican have been doing that for years. That's what they turned confession into a system of control. Like, and again, they're very clever. You know, good on them. Anyway, yeah, I had a. This is the I'm gonna try and find this. We'll go over it now because this is going to be all over the place quite a bit. But let's just roll on. I thought this was kind of funny. Israel rolling out their latest weaponry. Totally an Iranian missile. Anyway. Let me just see if I can find this. It's just fascinating whenever I get into it, and I'm not on the right, but I'm certainly not on the left. I'm not into that. You know, that fake left and right dialectic, I find, is very. It's not useful. And Nick Fuentes is coming out and is saying, you know, vote Democrat. That just moves people. Here we go. It just moves people into that same old. The same old dialectic. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to read through this. I won't put it up on the screen, but I shared this thing. And I don't have, hugely strong opinions about this, but I'm just kind of pointing out. So GadSat, I just shared a GadSat post. Me, here's a tsunami of evidence showing how people from societies X are destroying our civilization. Wood cricket Westerner. Yes, but empathy. Me, here is more evidence. Wood cricket Westerner. Yes, but sympathy. Me, here is more evidence. Yes, but compassion. Me, here is more evidence. WCW. Yes, but kindness. Me, here's more evidence. WCW. Yes, but tolerance. Here's more evidence. Yes, but acceptance. Me, our civilization is being eaten alive, is going through very, very, very ugly future for our children, for your children and mine. WCW. I'd rather die and having my children killed knowing that I'm empathetic, sympathetic, compassionate, kind, tolerant, and accepting of those who rape and murder us. I'm a good person. So a friend came along, and I respect this guy. I'm not trying to shit. This is why I'm not showing it. I'm not going to name him. So he says, "You mean Muslims?" He cracked the code. I worked with a whole bunch of Muslims at Holden and have them as neighbours. They are okay in general. Little known fact, Muslims largely created Western civilization or transmitted it. That is why our numerals are Hindu Arabic. Not a blank check for Muslims or Arabs any more than for anyone else, but I think the likes of Hanson and her supporters are the real threat. This is what happens when you discuss this stuff with these people. They will instantly... Later on, he brings up Trump. I didn't bring up Trump. I didn't bring up... Anyway, I replied, Jeremy Dixon. I just said his name. I don't think it's one particular group. Rather, it's the psychos and assholes from different groups. But it is one group. I don't know. Anyway, it all just kind of goes around and around in circles until... It just kind of... I thought it was kind of funny that... This is interesting. A lot of... Oh, here we go. 12 replies. Okay. So it's just fascinating that when you bring up any of this stuff and you say, here we have this problem, they are instantly... and if you have the experience firsthand, no book can tell you what God is. That is bang on. The first-hand experience is more important. I think the books are kind of to prepare you in a way. The books are just like, here's other people's experience of it, and now you might experience it. And when you experience it, you'll recognize it. Not that your experience will be anything like that. Like the things I've experienced, and it's interesting. They don't scare me. They never have. Like I have a lot of experience. I have experiences with God. I have experiences with demonic entities. They don't scare me. They just don't. Like I always say, if you saw like the representations that they make in this reality are always these overblown kind of marketing deals. They're always like, this is what I would look like. But if you saw what they really look like, that you'd just be like, well, you're a weaselly little nothing. So why am I scared of you? So don't be scared of them. And the book provides a lot of wisdom, like, don't be afraid. That's a great one. That's a terrific one. Where are we? Okay, oil is currently at 83.84 to sell, 83.87 to sell, 83.90 to buy. Oil is going nuts. I'm not sure if it's going to go higher. I think it'll go higher. I think it'll go up to 88, maybe even, like, eventually. I'm kind of tempted to buy some oil. Just take a look here. I'm kind of tempted to buy some oil and just leave it over the weekend, because I think next week it'll be up in the 90s. And that would be a good chunk of change. I don't know. But I'm only just gotten back into trading, and I'm just sort of starting off slow. Anyway. The initiations in older Christian... Hang on a sec. I gotta... Wait. Here we go. The initiations in older Christian faith is individual and based on ritual, meaning that some drugs, psychedelia, were involved. That's where the concept of born again comes from. Yeah, no, I believe... Yeah, I think you're probably right with that. I think certainly like DMT would have been, when you see certain things. I think like everything is rituals. Everything is rituals and magic. In this world, we are energetic vessels. We have our power taken away from us, and other people's magic is imposed on us all the time. There's the cause of effect, and the cause that there's the plane of cause and the plane of effect. And this is why when you think and act in unison, you can basically achieve anything. It's kind of like masturbating. You're thinking while you're acting, and that's cause and effect wrapped up. Like, that's how it works. If you think in accordance with your actions. But we are taught our whole lives, we're taught to think one way and act another way. And that's why we get caught up in this nonsense where we can't get anything done, and we're like, why can't I succeed? Because we're acting and thinking counter to each other. Our actions negate the cause. The effect negates the cause. But you'll find in this reality, in this world, like, this is the beauty of this reality. Whatever you believe to be true, this is why I don't do debates. Because whatever you believe to be true in this reality is true. Because that's your causal plane. That's what exists on your causal plane. If you act in accordance to the causal plane, you can achieve anything, and your reality can become anything. Now, whether it's good for you is, that's up to you. Like, that's for you to find out. But when you get on the right, when you think and you act in unison, you will find that the universe just opens up to you. It's like an express lane opening up for you. It is crazy. It's crazy how that works. And that is just true. That is simply true. Whatever you're headed into. And a lot of times, and the reason that I like Christianity is because that gives me direction to know that what the outcomes that I will achieve will be good, not only for me, but for the people around me. So that's why I study the books of Christ and I study his words, because, yeah, I mean, it didn't work out too well for him. But, no, the reality is, like, he was outside the matrix looking in. He had external information. That's what it seems like. But he basically, like, the thing is, if your focus, you can do anything in this world. That's the beauty of it. You just have to get your causal plane and the plane of effect working in unison, and you'll achieve whatever you want to achieve. My problem is I'm all over the place. I get my causal plane working, but my actions, and then my causal plane goes into free fall. So, and it's because we're trained, we are brainwashed from a very young age, because these people that own the media, they have the ultimate magic. Like, if you can get a lot of people to believe the one, this is why people go to church. The reason you go to church is because, like it says it in the Bible, Christ said, anytime two or more people pray on the same thing, it has an incredible power. So if you're just praying yourself, that's all well and good. But if you focus with other people, if you get other people involved in your creation of reality, it doubles the power. It's exponential. It just grows. So, you know, this is the way it's done. But the first step is to get your causal and your effect in line. And you can do anything. But we are deceived from a very young age. Anyway, let's finish what this guy says about.
Your problem is that we are independent and that we do not accept the Epstein class that rapes and murders little kids.
Okay.
We don't
If I may
accept
respond,
them murdering our
respond,
kids. We will not allow your regime to kill our kids and get away with it.
This is the thing about this war. I mean, the Iranians just seem to have right on their side way more. Okay, so this guy is announcing that he believes. So this priest, I don't know. We need to. I mean, don't we all think that? The problem with this, as I said before, people hear the word satanic and they automatically go, "Oh, you think these people worship Satan?" And that, or Hashatan, and Satan and Hashatan, he's just the adversary. He's the tester. And I don't know that it's even a name as much as a title of a group. Yeah, so I don't know. Oh yeah, wake up. Israel calls on Australia to join Middle East war. How about fuck off? How about you can fuck off with that shit? This is fun. Is Israel secretly controlled by the Jews? No, this idea comes from an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory, not from evidence. Isn't that amazing? It just immediately goes to that. Anyway, I don't know. It's such a fun time to be alive, as long as you don't get your head eaten. I'm going to pop back here. Example, let's say DMT. If you take and also a dude from 2,000 years, take it the plane of reality in the state, don't care about the linear timeline. It is the same that you tend to do. Everyone that takes it does tend to see the same thing, which is kind of crazy. Oh man, if I play this, I'll get a strike on YouTube. This will be taken down so quickly. Martin Luther. I need to run inside for a second, so I'm tempted to play this video of Martin Luther. But that will probably get me a strike. Ruby. There's a video I wanted to find of the Paris Fashion Week, and these people, like, if you don't think that the elites are satanic, and the thing about Satan, just because a lot of people don't worship Satan, they are actually worshipping Satan in a sense, regardless of whether they know it or not. But the fascinating thing is there are people at the top that do worship these entities. But people don't believe this stuff. Like, even with the Epstein files come out, people still don't believe it. That's the genius of evil, is that people don't believe it. People see this stuff and they go, no, it's too fantastical. They would never do that. I had the luck to have the first lucid dream at age 7 when I didn't know shit about anything. Face green, smiling. I've seen that same entity. I did it on DMT. I used to leave my body when I was a kid all the time, and it freaked me out. I would be like lying in bed, and I'd be in this, and I would lift up, and I'd go, oh my god, I'm gonna fall, and I would whack back in my body. There is so much more to this plane than we understand, and it's kind of a shame, because if we were just free to play, because I think that's ultimately what this world is. It's kind of a playground. But these shit fucks have come in and they've gone, oh, we can control everything. We can control them, and we can steal from them constantly. And that's what it is. And it sucks that that's what this world has become. But because I think this is like a school and a playground, but now what we're learning, we're just stuck in this nonsense. And it just sucks, because there is so much more to this realm. There's a lot more than we understand. I might come back to that, because I'm going to go in a second. Let's have a listen to... I don't know. I keep going off this subject. I love talking about this stuff. I had a memory come to me in a dream, in a lucid dream type state, and it was it was a memory, and it was from before I was born. And it's like when you're just a soul and you enter the body, and I saw bright lights all over the earth, and I could choose a light, but most of the lights were small, and I saw this big bright light, and this was my body, and I went into that. And I don't know whether the bright light means I was ready to be born, because apparently I nearly died when I was being born. So it was possible I can't explain the memory completely, but I do remember before I came into this life. Like, I remember, I have a memory of before I was born. And so that's why I'm quite confident that there will be something after I'm dead, because I was around before I was born. Now, it could be a false memory, but it felt pretty damn real to me. Like, it seemed like a legit memory. You know what I mean? Didn't have the baggage of indoctrination active, and from there I had a lot of lucid messages, and the weirdest of them, don't read, don't write, just observe. I've had that same thing, man. Yeah, like just observe. Just be and observe. Like, this is an experience to, yeah, that's it. Just watch. Let the spark of divinity do what it's meant to do. And yeah, it's beautiful. When you're young, you don't have that indoctrination. When you're older, you've got all that, the doubt, because you've been taught by people and you're like, well, these people know what they're doing. It's not until you kind of get older that you go, these people don't know what they're doing. We've been on this planet for like 300,000 years and they haven't figured any of this shit out. It's amazing. It's frustrating. Anyway. All right, let's I love this is one of my favorite stories, I gotta say. Israeli officials allegedly hired social media influencers for $7,000 per post, failed to pay them, and now facing lawsuits totaling millions of dollars in unpaid invoices. There's the source. And everyone, all the comments are just laughing at this. Like, yeah, fuck you. You took the shekels. every comment. The Talmud permits Jews to withhold wages from Gentiles. Yeah. I can't pay you. That would mean I have less money. They're so annoying. I mean, they really are annoying. The worst sin is that you have destroyed and betrayed yourself for nothing. Fyodor Dostoevsky. What a brilliant quote. Dad, can I borrow $50? $30? What do you need $20 for? I can't believe my son is demanding my last $10. Help, police, a madman is trying to kill me over $5. You'll be hearing from my lawyer about that $50 you still owe me. Yeah. It's fun. Isn't it fun? That's kind of a bullshit post. Anyway. Yeah. I really would love to do a stream where I don't even bring up that tribe, like don't mention them at all. But it's just constant. It's just a problem. Oh man. Full Fuentes interview. That was pretty cool seeing Fuentes on Alex Jones again. That was fun. I don't know. I can't. Do you want to hear the what Martin Luther has to say about them? I tested it. I have ideas and tried to put them on paper. The mind got out cold, and I started to laugh so hard for every time. Yeah, man. It's all of that stuff. Because I'm stubborn. Instead of reading, I listen to audiobooks instead. I've been trying to read lately to get back into reading. It's so frustrating. I mean, not that I just don't have the time to sit and really read, and so I don't absorb it. And it just, I don't know, it's just so much easier to whack on an audiobook while you're driving. But yeah, it is nutty. But that, I don't know, I think that like doing those kinds of crude oils, I think doing that kind of thing where you're just writing down your observations, often you'll read it back and you'll go, oh, this is nonsense. But it is definitely worth doing. Yeah, oil's popping back up. I don't know whether to buy now or not. It's been fluctuating quite a bit. But it's up at 84.66 at the moment. And that's to sell. So I don't know. I'm not looking at the indicators right now because I'm streaming. So it's hard to like look at the indicators while you're streaming. I did want to show you this. Like this keeps coming up. I keep coming back to this. Hooded men attack young migrants in Spain over grape of a 14-year-old girl. This person's tweeted, "There is no political solution. Violence is the supreme authority from which all other authority is derived." When we get back to the reality of this world, that is the solution. I mean, if we want to, if we want things to change, and I've played the Ari Shafir bit so many times, it's nuts. All right, this is just messed up. Okay. So this is quotes from these Labour MPs. I guess they're English. "We can't prove that sex with children does them harm." Patricia Hewitt, ex-Labour MP. "Well, I can tell you, Patricia, yes, it does do them harm. So shut your fucking stupid face, you fucking evil." Anyway. And this one. "Childhood sexual experiences willingly engaged in with an adult result in no identifiable damage." Harriet Harman, Labour MP. These are your politicians. This is what I mean. The key to success is obviously to be a PDF file. But where do you learn? Is there a TAFE course? Can I do it at can I do it online? Can I learn? These people are sick, man. They're sick. They're sick and evil. Sick and evil. Ah, man. Oh, check this out. This is great. More fake space videos. Check this one out. This is brilliant. This guy's fixing something.
Copy 40.
Good numbers. Give it a wiggle check.
Solid. No movement.
Excellent. Panel's good. You can stow the tool and proceed to the next point.
Copy that. Tool stowed. Head over.
Look at these idiots. Yeah, just wiggle it around. I don't know what's going on in this video, but he's not achieving his goals. That's amazing. Yeah. I researched a little into inventors and stuff like that, and almost all of them say that they receive the info in a form or other. That doesn't mean that they don't work their butts off to make it. But yeah, that's where all this stuff comes from. Your thoughts, the thoughts we have, this is that's what we go back to with, like, new technologies come from, the reason they've done human sacrifice for so long. When you do human sacrifice, it's like chumming the waters. When you go out and you're hunting sharks, you throw chunks of fish into the water. That chums the water and it brings the sharks. When you do a human sacrifice, the trauma is like chumming the spiritual waters for demonic entities. And they come, and the priest is always there. If you watch Apocalypto, it's a great representation of it. They're doing the human sacrifice, and the priest's there, and his eyes are rolled back in his head. He's receiving messages. That's how it works. All inspiration comes from somewhere else. You just got to be careful where it comes from. You go into musicians. They talk about the clown entity. This is why I hate clowns. Clowns are just gay retards, basically, but they're demonic. They're just shitty, stupid, probably murderers and PDF files. I don't like them. Don't like clowns. full disclosure, I did have a run-in with a clown recently. I've had a few run-ins with him, and he's just a gay fag. I don't like the guy. He's a piece of shit. And I hope he dies in an anal sex accident, you know? Because that's what he deserves. Anyway, that last video, that was AI. Everything's AI now. Oh, Tommy Sotomayor. I love this, because this is a black guy talking about this. So I shouldn't get in trouble for repeating. Tommy Sotomayor says, disavow, by the way. I'll disavow this. I stand with Jews. I stand with Israel. And I stand with black people. This guy's an Uncle Tommy. Please, black people, stop trying to act like you are outraged. This is not me saying this. This is Tommy saying this. Tommy, here. Please, black people. So don't fucking give me a strike, YouTube, and don't delete this stream, X. Because this is not me saying this. I love them. I think they're a wonderful and rich culture who invented everything. Please, black people, stop trying to act like you are outraged over the possibility of a 12-year-old and teens graping a 12-year-old girl when your culture teaches them to do this at young ages. When single mothers are routinely being walked in on by their small children having sex with strange men, when your music glorifies sex and violence. Am I wrong? Well, no, you're not wrong. But I disavow regardless, because I don't want to get another strike on YouTube. I'm sick of fucking... I'm half thinking I should just stream straight to... But at least the stream goes out. So, you know, if they delete it after, you caught it live. It's all good. But yeah, that is crazy behavior. See, when we were kids, we did our graping in private. Just publicly. I don't know. You gotta wonder. Maybe this is the cause of teen pregnancies. Ah, what a rich and vibrant culture. Ah, here we go. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to show you this. Prepare yourselves, because this is quite horrific. And this is what and since it's all come out that the elites are like definitely, this is why the art crowd caters to these people. Hang on one sec. I'll get to that comment in a sec. I just want to show you this. This is, you know, the art crowd and the elites, and like the last movie I did was basically glorifying incest, and I was like, respect to the guy that made the film, because it was like, that is how you make it in Hollywood. You take the profane and you make it mainstream and you make it accepted. Anyway, he didn't get anywhere with it, but this is the people at Paris Fashion Week. Now check these people out. Yeah, so they go out of their way to look demonic. It's nuts. Because they're trying to appeal to the elites. Can I explain what Rain Man is? I'll have to do that in another stream, man. Yeah, I'll have to, if I'm going to do that, I'll have to do it in a separate thing. But that is the pure, like the pure humanity, in a sense. Like, that is straight receiving. I've got to run inside for a second. I've just got to run out for a second. So let's have a listen to a clip from Alex Jones and Fuentes talking about this, and I'll be back in 2 seconds.
So, Nick, you told us what was coming 2 years ago. You've been proven right. You're like the new Alex Jones, being right on things. So I want you to give your take on what's currently happening and then what you predict is going to come next. And is there any way to get Trump to extricate himself from this bear trap?
Well, I'll take the last question first. I think the answer is no. And I was very pessimistic about the prospect of that going into this administration. As you know, in 2024, I said that Trump is the Iran war candidate. It was inevitable that Trump would take us to war. And as a matter of fact, I think that's a large reason why he got elected in the first place. I think that if you look at the election in 2020, it was obviously stolen and rigged. And so you say, well, how did he then come back and win in 2024? Well, clearly the riggers had to stand down and let him take office. And whether that's a combination of the media, social media, electioneering, whatever you want to say, they let him win. And I think they let him win because they knew that unlike Joe Biden and unlike the Democrats, he was going to have no hesitation, no reluctance whatsoever to engage Iran and its proxies, which, of course, he then did throughout 2025 and 26. So as to whether he can extricate himself from the situation, I don't think so. I think that over and over, we see the same pattern where whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, Israel triggers a confrontation with Iran. And the United States does its best, I think, in both cases, in a Democrat or Republican administration, to mitigate the severity of the confrontation. So Joe Biden used deterrence. I believe that Donald Trump last year wanted that midnight hammer strike to be the end of the nuclear program and one tap and the war. But of course, Israel has orchestrated all of these different confrontations. They're deliberately provoking and triggering them. And I think that was the same story here. What has happened, as you said, as Marco Rubio said yesterday, is that Israel came to the United States. Netanyahu came to the White House for, I believe, the 6th time since Trump took office for the 2nd time. And he told Trump, we're going in.
The Iran thing is really fascinating. Just on the Rain Man thing, I think a lot of that stuff is that nature abhors a vacuum. And I think when people speak falsely, there is a natural balance. So you get all these autistic people just going, no, this is what it is. It's this. This is reality. Yeah, I think a lot of that stuff, and this isn't the Rain Man thing so much, but you get these people, you get it's that autism and Asperger's and all these things, their reaction to people ignoring reality. So you get these people that they can't ignore reality, and so they don't. This is my theory on it. I also think a lot of it comes from promiscuity. There's been studies done, like people finally started to work this shit out where they were trying, like for example, they were trying to crossbreed. Like I think vaccines has a lot to do with it. I think that is one, but that's just one element of it. And I think there is an area of study that people will not look into because they can't. And anyone that does look into it, they're not going to get funded. But they were trying years ago. Like I've always been fascinated why, like, how does a black cat give birth to a litter of all these different colored cats? I've always been fascinated by that. It's like, it doesn't make sense. Well, if it was a black cat and it bred with an orange cat, how does it get all this variety of all these different kittens? Or if it's two black cats, how does it get... Because when a female cat goes out on heat, it's just an absolute slut. It just goes out and fucks everything. It's like it sets up an OnlyFans page. It does the Bonnie Blue thing. It's like and subscribe. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. That's what cats are like. They're little whores. Feline whores. Anyway, so they did a study, and so then they go out and they fuck all these different other male cats, and all male cats are all these different colours, and so then they have a litter of all these different colours, and the male cat that thinks it's the father is just there going, did you fuck another guy? And the female cat's there going, no, how could you ask me that, you misogynist? He's like, well, you know, my son doesn't look like me. We're two black cats, and you just gave birth to an orange cat. So they were trying to crossbreed horses with zebras many, many years ago. And they got the zebras and the horses, and they were trying to crossbreed them, and it didn't work. You can't crossbreed a horse with a zebra. But then many years later, they just gave up on the experiment, and the horses went off, and they were breeding with regular horses, and they gave birth to all these striped horses. And they started to go, well, maybe all of that genetic code gets left in your system. And it does. This is the conclusion they came to. And, you know, humans are biological creatures as well, so we're going to have the same reaction. And I just think that a lot of autism and stuff, the vaccines and thing, I think are part of it. But when you've got like 100 different genetic codes in you, and they're all throwing little bits of genes in there, I think that's what creates your Rain Man, because they are so fucking, and they are so messed up by everything with their different, they're like torn apart by genetic mess and like epigenetics. They're just, so all they can do is focus on, no, this is what's real, this is what's real, trains are cool. But you know, that's just my little theory on that. And I'm sure I will be called a misogynist for saying so. But, you know, for thousands of years, people have written documented that, you know, the way to destroy a society is to make nudity and promiscuity mainstream. And turning back the clock at this point, turning it all back, I don't know how that's going to be done. I don't think it can be done, to be honest. I think it's like, I think we're at the point where it's just like, well, you know, we just hand our societies over, because like, you're not going to get people to give up on that shit. But that's what I find with fascinating with the left. Most of their thing is like, no, I like people touching my dick, or I like the idea that people might touch my dick. Even if they're not getting their dicks touched, they're very obsessed with the idea that more people might touch their dicks. That there's more of a chance that people will touch their dicks. So, you know, I don't know how you fix that. Maybe you don't fix it. Anyway, what else we got here? Oh man, readings from the Torah. I just don't want to. Oh, this was fun. This is fun. I'll open that on a. I think I might end this. I'm glad I've done 108. Next one, I will try and get I'll try and get Mike on to discuss the Iran thing. And we will. I don't don't think that is the moment Charlie woke up. This is good. And as our country entered World War III, I couldn't help but wonder, is it time to focus on World War Me? That's terrific. All right, I'm gonna just play this one and bounce, I think, because I'm all over the place tonight anyway. I don't really have any focus. I just wanted to come on and do one. And I will try and do more and be more focused in the future. I will get back to reading the rest of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto, and I want to try and find more things. I want to find things from the other side as well that we can kind of laugh at as well, because it's all very silly. We live in a very silly time. A lot of predictions coming out that the US will lose this war. I don't think, from what I've seen, I don't think Trump is too happy with the way things are going. I think he's been tricked into the whole thing. But anyway, let's just wait and see what happens. Apparently something's going to happen on Friday the 13th. I don't know anything about that. I'll have to get someone to explain that to me. But interesting time. Blood moons during Purim. That was crazy. It's kind of crazy that this whole war kicked off a few days before Purim. Oh, that was fascinating. I tweeted out the other day, I was like, I got to stop looking at this shit. I'm just going to Google puppies and kittens. The next day, the first thing I see on my timeline is Jews burning puppies and kittens. It's like they get you at every turn. They throw live puppies and kittens and stray dogs and shit into fires on this particular holiday. I can't remember what the holiday is, but they, you know, they want us to hate them. Hang on a sec. Is that Jake? All right. Hey, man. Hey, good to see you too. Just wrapping up this stream. But yeah, that's what I was actually going to do, the stream on the power of hate. I'll talk about that for a minute. The power of hate, like what they're doing, what the Israelis are doing, they have turned hate. They've monetized hate, essentially. They are turning it into the ability to gain more power. The idea of the Iron Dome is fake. Now, I don't know about that. I need to look into that a lot more. It's a theory that I've just heard, but I've heard a lot of people saying nuclear weapons are fake and the Iron Dome is fake. Like, it's all fake. But it would be a great way to terrify your citizens, because they just send these things up because you can't see the rockets from Hamas. So all they see is a missile fly up and it spins around, it moves around, and then it blows up. And you go, oh, thank God. So, I don't know. It's very weird. Very weird time. And it's possible, but they are raised on trauma. It's not, there's only a certain amount of them that come out of that, and they go out into the world and they go, hang on, it's all bullshit. Like, people don't want to kill us because no one wants to kill them. I mean, there's some people, but no, no one gives a shit. Everyone's just like, no, can we all just exist? And they see the problems in the world and they see the problems they're creating. And they start calling them out. Dave Smith, Ari Shafir, all that crew, they're great. But they are raised on trauma and they use hate, and they will, they say themselves that they shoot themselves in the foot and then they claim someone else did it. Which is, again, I'm a big fan of trickery. I love it. When I'm tricked into something, I'm not tricked by that stuff anymore. Yoga says reality is fake. That doesn't surprise me. Like, reality is fake, but we're tricked into, you know, we're just tricked into so much from an early age too. Hey, Cesar, no, man. No, I love it. I love the discourse between us. You don't take me off my shit, because all I've got tonight is my shit. I'm just talking. I'm just going all over the place. But yeah, man, I will see you in the next one. And yeah, reality is fake because we're deceived from a very early age. But once you get into what reality really is, you can find the truth. So, you know, that's all we need to do. Anyway, let's have a bit of fun. Check out this dumb bitch.
By a bell?
Okay.
An O.
2 O's.
I don't mean to say she's a dumb bitch. It's just that it's what's funny about the thing. She just hasn't heard this phrase before. It's hilarious.
I'll solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your hat.
Christopher. $6.50.
G.
No G. Thomas.
Well, Thomas knows it, but he keeps getting...
Oh, the bankrupt got you. Laura, you have another shot at it. You can spin the wheel or try to solve the puzzle.
This is...
I'll solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your lap.
No. Although the feather is moving around.
Thomas knows it, but they keep...
Christopher.
Like, this is fake. Everything's fake.
900.
D.
No. Thomas. Well, Thomas, I think the wheel got... Laura, you have another opportunity here. You can spin the wheel. You can try to solve the puzzle. What do you want to do? Go ahead and spin if you don't know.
I'm going to go ahead and
yeah,
spin.
Don't get buzzed out here on time. Well, what letter would you like?
A P.
Yes, there's a P. Spin or solve.
I will solve.
Okay.
Another feather in your map.
Christopher, it's your turn.
Come on, someone solve it.
Oh, my goodness. The bankrupt got you. Thomas, you have no money. I don't know. You're going to spin? You can try to
I'll
solve?
spin.
Okay. So what letter would you like?
A C.
Is there a C up there anywhere? There you go. You want to solve this?
Yeah, I'll solve. Another feather in your cap.
Yeah, there you go.
Ah, bless. All right, let's the Maya concept, dream inside a dream. Twin Peaks had the same theme. Only you are the truth. This is what I was saying before. Let's talk about this a bit more. Screw it, I won't end just yet. Whatever you believe in this reality becomes your reality. So this is why I truly believe that arguing with people online about this is right or that's right. I mean, you can get into politics and you get into like, no, we should be doing that. We should be. Whatever your truth, if you argue with people about what their truth is, it is such a waste of time, because whatever their truth is their truth. Now that truth may lead to their own destruction, but you've got to let people go to hell in the way they want to go. I truly believe that. Like, I'm not one of these people that wants to go out and convert people to anything. I really believe that people will eventually come to the place they need to be. Now, I do see a lot of people that don't get there and whatever, you know, but that's their journey. That's their life. It's their life. This planet, I think a big part of it is we are here to experience what we're going to experience. The question in Twin Peaks. We know who is we know is a dream, but who is the dreamer? These are the philosophical areas that, as I see it, okay, the conclusion I'll come to, and I believe that I am the dreamer. Your experience is a reality, reflection of your truth. That's it. It is absolutely what it is. That's the beauty of this world. Whatever you believe reality to be, that's what reality is. Where this all gets messy is there are people out there that they've figured out that if they can control our realities, they can expand their own realities by making their reality the same as everyone else. So everyone else believes that the elites are elite. They're not elite. They're a bunch of fucking assholes that have convinced us to support their version of reality. That's all that is. All you have to do is step off the path, focus your intention, focus your causal plane on the plane of effect, and put both in line and act accordingly. And that's the most important. Thought and action. Those two things are the keys to breaking this reality. The truth cannot be destroyed, but it can be covered in lies time and time again. That's it. That is 100% it. And they are so good at taking the truth and just manipulating it in a, like what I was saying about Netanyahu. When he said Iran is weeks away from developing nuclear weapons, that is an absolute true statement. If they intended to create nuclear weapons, that it would take them a few weeks because they have a nuclear program. But the way he says it, he says, Iran are weeks away from doing it, like they're doing it. And they haven't been doing it. Even when they bombed them the last time, there was no nuclear fissile materials released into the atmosphere. So there was nothing there. It was a big nothing burger. But they keep saying these things. And it's these greatest tricks. And once you become aware of these tricks, you get better at recognizing them. And you stay more focused on the truth. But those tricks, they still work on us because they have so many weapons in their arsenal. Movies, media, all of these things. These are like things that create a causal reaction in reality that makes us go, oh, reality's this. I guess I have to go with that. But no, your reality is your own, and no one can fuck with it unless you let them. Everything in this reality is legalistic. Everything is legalistic. You make deals. You accept things. People will say something to you, or you will get some kind of demonic entity sort of jamming something in your brain, and you accept it. If you accept it, you've opened yourself up to that, and you get these little psychic wounds, and your reality shifts. Just focus on your reality. That is 100% true. Fun fact, a juice will give you 90% truth and 10% poison. The question is that poison enough to kill, keep you asleep? That is how it works. That they dilute it. It's called poisoning the well, and they have a long tradition of it. It's amazing shit. You know what? I think I will. We play some Martin Luther because he says like it just. This, okay, I'm playing this, YouTube, I'm playing this purely for historical research reasons. This is purely, like, this is not me saying this, and I disavow, I guess. so you don't kill my stream. That's the only reason. And then after I play this, I'll play some Jimmy Carr. Okay. This fascinates me because so many people are waking up to this, and it just fascinates me how this has been consistent throughout history, and now people are finally waking up to it. They still have their defenders and whatever, but this fascinates me. This is what Martin Luther had to say about their lies.
Just ponder this. How does it happen that we poor Christians nourish and enrich such an idle and lazy people, such a useless, evil, pernicious people, such blasphemous enemies of God, receiving nothing in return but their curses and defamation, and every misfortune they may inflict on us or wish us? Indeed, we are as blind and unfeeling clods in this respect as are the Jews in their unbelief, to suffer such great tyranny from these vicious weaklings, and not perceive that they are our mad tyrants, and that we are their captives and subjects. Meanwhile, they wail and pretend that they are our captives, and at the same time mock us, as though we had to take this abuse from them. And if the authorities are reluctant to use force and restrain the Jews' demonic wantonness, then the Jews should be expelled from the country. They should be told to go elsewhere, where they may lie, curse, blaspheme, defame, murder, steal, rob, mock, and indulge in all those infamous abominations that they practice among us, and leave us and our government, our country, our life, and our property, much more, leave our Lord the Messiah, our faith, and our church undefiled and uncontaminated with their devilish tyranny and malice. Any privileges that they may ask for won't help them. No one can grant privileges for practicing such abominations. These abominations cancel and abrogate all privileges. If you pastors and preachers have followed my example and have faithfully issued such warnings to your churches, but the authorities still won't do anything about it, then let's follow the advice of Christ in Matthew 10:14 and shake the dust from our shoes and say, "We are innocent of your blood." I suppose the authorities might wish to show mercy to the Jews, the bloodthirsty enemies of our Christian and human name, in order to earn heavenly rewards thereby. But that the Jews enmesh us, harass us, torment and distress us Christians in every way with their satanic and detestable deeds.
I will say, and I'm going to put this out there, no one has a right to put hands on the Jews. Mike said that. I agree with it. This is all the trickery that goes into this. This is the trickery. You buy into this stuff. You kind of have no... Steve and I discussed this. It's like Steve said it. He said, if I sell you a poison apple and I tell you it's a poison... It's Levian Satanism, and that's what they do. That's what they engage in. I'm just pointing it out. I'm trying to walk the fucking line here, and you make it impossible because you're like, oh my God, you start kvetching immediately because we call you out on your bullshit, you fucks. And I just want to live. Everyone I know, we just want to live. We don't want to get caught up in your fucking bullshit. So how about you leave us the fuck and stop trying this trickery? It's just infuriating. So I'm just sharing this as historical. Isn't it fascinating what Martin Luther said? Oh yeah. Yeah, the beginning of the golden age. Isn't it fascinating that they keep saying now, they keep saying, oh, anyone who any nation who kicks them out is doomed and they're cursed and things go wrong for them. Yet if you look into Spain's golden age, that's clearly not true. But this is the trickery. They convince people that, oh, if you kick us out, everything will go wrong. Steve is he's I don't want to say too much about what's going on with him, but I am hoping to get him back on. I've reached out to him we talk a lot. But he's had some health troubles recently. He had open heart surgery a little while ago, and he's having trouble getting back to himself. He's got a lot going on at the moment. I don't think he's performed in a while. He's like selling his records. He's dealing with a lot of stuff. But I am hoping to get him back on eventually. But yeah, so God bless Steve Hughes. That's what I say. Wonderful guy. Terrific guy. Yeah, I do miss those conversations. We still get into it when we'll have conversations. We just don't stream them, but we have conversations, and it's always the same stuff. It's like the conversations go in the direction you would expect them to go in. So yeah, I am really looking forward to having Steve come back on. I really hope he will come back on, because I found our conversations are really, I don't know, we connect really well. Anyway, we will get them. Yeah, he's a legend. He's an absolute legend, and I love him for coming on this podcast and just talking to us, because and yeah, terrific conversations. I will say the last conversation I had with him on stream, I wasn't in the best shape. That's why I had my friend Harv come on with us, just because I was not in the right headspace to be having a conversation like that. I don't think it mattered too much, but yeah, I was not. I hadn't slept for like a couple of days. I was in a bad place, man. But anyway, but yeah, God bless Steve Hughes. May he thrive and prosper. A crazy cat, just a crazy dude, just the best. Anyway, you know who else is the comedian, and this is like, I really am trying to get back into reading more, because a couple of things that, like, Jimmy Carr has been doing all these podcasts, and he just drops knowledge. He just drops this great knowledge. One he said the other day that I caught was, every man has two lives, and the second begins when he realizes he only has one. It's so profound. I've got a bunch of his stuff. I'll do that on another stream. But anyway, here's some of his comedy. Let's check out some of his jokes. I love this joke. The Auschwitz one's fantastic.
Right, let me try and offend you. All right, when I was at school, a mate of mine got caught wanking in the showers. Nothing? Well, it ruined the school trip to Auschwitz. It's not going to get any more offensive than that, dude. It's a joke about the worst thing that has ever happened. Oh, I can't tell you a more offensive joke than that, but I can tell you a story about me that will change your mind about me and then change it right back. Do you want to hear it? Yeah. Okay. Well, it concerns... It's basically telling you about what it's like being famous. What it's like is people ask you to do things, and it's nice to say yes, because normally it's fun stuff. Do you want to be on Top Gear? Yes, I do. Do you want to do a Jubilee? Yes, I do. Do you want to come and visit a hospice? It's palliative care for teenagers. Yes, I do. I got that call about 6 years ago. I said, yeah, I'll go. I didn't know what some of those words meant. I thought it sounds all right, teenagers. I imagine that would be fun. Now, it transpires, palliative translates to dying, and I found myself in a situation where I went, well, I've got to go. I've said I'll go. And thinking, this is going to be shit. Hand on heart, I thought, this is going to be fucking shit. But I said I'll go, so I'll go. So I went there with very low expectations. I thought, I'll be lucky to get through this without tearing up. I went there, because genuinely, I couldn't believe what a fucking arsehole I am. because it was genuinely inspirational. It was brilliant to go. If you get a chance to visit a hospice, go to a hospice. They're amazing. Because I don't know what inspires you, but I like that idea of carpe diem, living in the moment, now being where happiness is. And if you meet life-limited teenagers, they're having that because they're aware of how precious time is, and I think we often forget in our day-to-day lives. So it was amazing to go and to be around. I've been back many times since, and I'd recommend it as a thing to do. It's really fun. They don't want to be shut away. They want to be part of society. The thing that blew me away when I went there was an incident. So if I go out to get coffee before the show, if I go to Starbucks, obviously my coffee shop of choice. Similar views. But if I go out to get coffee before the show, right, if there's a group of 15-year-old girls in the coffee shop, they'll be really flirty with me, not because I'm some super attractive dude, but because I'm a celebrity and there's a cachet to celebrity in our society, for better, for worse. There just is, it's a fact. So I'm used to that kind of flirting in that context. I wasn't expecting it within the context of palliative care for teenagers in a hospice. There's a girl in there, she just turned 15, pretty little thing, and she's a massive comedy fan. And she had all the DVDs, seen everything on YouTube, like really into it. And she was really flirty and really tactile. And I thought, what? All she wanted was a kiss. And I thought, well, where's the harm? She's going to be dead before she can testify. I can see you think that's bad, but I can make that worse with just 2 words. True story.
He is brilliant. He is a great comedian. And yes, don't read, you already know it. You have in you all the knowledge to come from past, present, and future. That is absolutely it. That is right on. Remember, you are all, we are all magnificent manifestations of God. And we are put in this realm to play and to create, and we get this one opportunity. So get out there and create your reality as you want it. Focus your mind and your actions on the one thing, and there is nothing you cannot achieve, because we are golden. We are not God, we are relationship with God. Never get caught up in that nonsense of I am God, I am all there is. There is always something above us. Reality is layered. It's like an onion. It comes apart. And the more you know, the more you focus, the more you can create anything you want. You just have to turn, the first point of reference is turn your thinking around. Create perfect thinking. Here's one I do. I'm going to share with you. This is my mantra that I've been saying. I'm blessed, I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm wealthy. I'm blessed, I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm wealthy. I'm blessed, I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I'm wealthy. I'm blessed, I'm healthy, I'm lucky, and I'm wealthy. Just keep saying that and go out into the world and create the reality you want. Act in unison with the reality that you put in your head, and you can do anything, and we can change the world. All right, I love you guys. This has been a blast. This has been really fun. I'll see you on the next one.